Imagine a boy who dreams every single night of becoming the most famous knight in the world. He loves fixing his hair, choosing his finest clothes, picturing himself on a white horse rescuing someone important. His name is Íñigo, and he's about to have the biggest adventure of his life, just not the one he planned. Have you ever dreamed of being the best at something, only for life to surprise you with a completely different plan? This dreaming boy would grow up to become one of the most important saints in history. But first, he had to lose something. Stay with us, because this story starts with a cannon blast. A cannon blast that would change not just his leg, but the entire world. Íñigo was born at Loyola Castle in northern Spain more than 500 years ago. He was the youngest of a huge noble family. He cared so much about looking good that he spent hours fixing his hair and choosing his finest clothes, more than any other boy in the castle. Every Sunday, the family went to the castle's small chapel for Mass. Íñigo looked at the altar, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. Battles, horses, stories of glory. He didn't know it yet, but that very altar would one day become the center of his whole life. For now, he only wanted one thing, to become famous, and he was willing to do whatever it took. Íñigo grew up and became a soldier, brave, proud, and determined to win fame with his sword. In 1521, he was defending the city of Pamplona against an army twice the size of his own. His fellow soldiers wanted to surrender before losing their lives, but Íñigo convinced them to keep fighting. He wanted to be the hero of this story, no matter the risk. Then, a cannonball flew through the air and shattered his leg. That day, Íñigo lost the battle, but without knowing it, he was about to win something far greater. He was carried back to Loyola Castle, where the doctors had to break his leg again to set it properly, with no painkillers at all. Íñigo gritted his teeth and never complained, not even once. He wanted to keep being, in everyone's eyes, the bravest soldier. He spent weeks in bed, unable to move, staring at the ceiling with nothing at all to do as the leg slowly healed. During his recovery, a priest came to his room and brought him communion. It was a simple moment, but something inside Íñigo began to change. To pass the time, he asked for books about knights and adventures, his favorite stories, but the castle had none. There were only 2 books, one about the life of Christ and one about the lives of the saints. Íñigo picked them up reluctantly, just to keep from being bored. But what began to happen inside him, not even he expected. Little by little, those stories hooked him. He began imagining himself doing great things, but for God, not for fame. And then he noticed something curious. When he dreamed of being a famous knight, he felt excited for a while, and then empty. But when he dreamed of doing great things for God, he felt just as excited, and that joy stayed with him. That was the secret Íñigo discovered in a bed with a broken leg, and it still works today, 500 years later. He found a new way of listening to his own heart, one nobody had ever taught him, not at court, not on the battlefield. And that new way of listening was about to change the rest of his life, though the road ahead wouldn't be easy at all. Íñigo left his soldier's life behind and went to a small town called Manresa to pray. He came up with a very him idea. If a saint prayed for 5 hours, he'd pray for 7. If one fasted for 3 days, he'd fast for a whole week. He even let his nails and hair grow wild so no one would think he still cared about looking good. He wanted to outdo every saint combined. But that extreme effort, eating almost nothing and never resting, left him exhausted and very sick. There he learned an important lesson. Loving God isn't a contest of who suffers the most. It was in that very crisis that God finally taught him to truly listen.
Years later, Íñigo, now called Ignatius, went to study in Paris. There he met 6 friends who shared the same fire. They wanted to serve God with everything they had. Together, they made a promise, hoping to go to Jerusalem as missionaries to walk where Jesus himself had walked. But the road to Jerusalem was blocked by a war between kingdoms, making the journey impossible. Instead of giving up, they decided something different, to place themselves at the Pope's service wherever they were needed most. After celebrating Mass together, that small group of friends became something much bigger, the Society of Jesus. What started as a dream of personal glory ended up becoming an army, but of a very different kind. Ignatius spent his final years in Rome, leading his companions and opening schools for children all around the world. He walked with a limp, the wound from that battle never fully healed, but his heart was full of joy. He founded schools in cities across Europe, convinced that educating a child was one of the most powerful ways to love God. He himself wrote about Jesus' Last Supper. He instituted the Eucharist to be the greatest mark of his love, saying, "Take and eat." For Ignatius, that bread was literally the secret behind everything he had lived. He died on July 31st, 1556, in peace, in poverty, and happy, surrounded by the same friends he had started it all with, back in Paris. What about you? Have you ever felt that difference between something that excites you for a while and something that really fills you? 1. Sometimes we dream of being the best at something, just like little Íñigo dreamed of being a great knight. That's not wrong, but God almost always has a better plan than ours. Learn to notice the difference, what excites you and then leaves you empty, and what excites you and stays with you as deep joy. That's the trick Íñigo discovered with a broken leg, and it still works today, 500 years later. 2. Ignatius said the Eucharist was the greatest mark of Jesus' love. That same Eucharist is waiting for you today, every time you go to Mass. Remember the boy who dreamed of being the most famous knight in the world? The story ends exactly where it began. Stay for the last 30 seconds. Íñigo never stopped being a knight. He just switched sides. He traded the sword for prayer, the fame for service, and the white horse for a leg that would limp forever. But he found something far better than the glory he dreamed of as a boy. He found God in all things. That same search is waiting for you too. Every time you walk into a church and see that small red light next to the tabernacle, that's Jesus still there, waiting for you, just as he waited for Íñigo on his sickbed. Have you ever dreamed of being the best at something and God had a different plan? Tell us in the comments. And if you want to meet the next superhero of faith, subscribe now.